Welcome back. In this lecture, I want to refresh your memory about how to make the animations loop and how to make the character go forward using the root bone. So let's quickly do that. First, I'm going to select my character and I'm going to use the walk cycle, which we made in a previous lecture. If you haven't made the walk cycle, then feel free to open the course file and it will be made for you. Now, I'm going to select the character in the object mode, click on Control Tab to go to pose mode, then select all the bones. Now I'm going to go inside the graph editor, click on Control Tab on the timeline. Then make sure all of my bones are unhidden. So I'm going to expand this menu, click on Alt H to make sure to unhide all of the curves. Now I'm going to select everything by pressing A, then press on Shift A, and then click on Make Cyclic. And now the animation will loop over and over again, even if I go outside the timeline. So if I go back to timeline, playback, disable the limit frame range. If I go outside, the character is going to move over and over again. So now I'm going to move the end frame to something like 200 to see how our character animation looks. And I think that's looking pretty decent so far. So now what I'm going to do is I don't want my character to just stay in place. So an easy way to move the character forward is by using the square bone called the root bone. If I grab the root bone, the whole character follows the root bone. And that's an easy way to make the character go wherever you want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to frame 0, press on I to set a keyframe for the root bone. Then I'm going to go forward. Let's see which the end frame is. So for my walk cycle, the end frame is 38. So I'm going to move the root bone towards 1 meter or 1.5 meters on the y-axis. And then let's see how it looks. Now you may notice that since we have Bezier interpolation, the character's feet are sliding. And that looks very weird and that's not what we want. So as soon as you animate the root bone, what I recommend you to do is hover over your timeline. Press on A to select all of the root bone keyframes, then press on T, and then make this linear. And now let's watch the animation and see how it looks. That looks 1,000 times better. There's less feet sliding, but there's still some. So in order to avoid feet sliding, make sure you play around with your root bone's position. So now what I'm going to do is maybe take it and move it slightly forward, and let's see how it looks. There's still more sliding. Maybe I should move it back. So I'm going to press on GY, move it backwards. And that looks better. So now once you're happy with how your root bone motion looks, then hover over the timeline again, press on A to select all the keyframes, Shift E, and then click on linear extrapolation. Now, if I go over, you can see my character will move forward, over and over again. So that's pretty much it. You use Make Cyclic to loop character's bones, and you use linear extrapolation on the root bone, and now the character will move forward forever. If I go outside the end frame, you can see the character will move over and over again. Even backwards. If I go backwards, the character will continue moving. Now we're ready to move on to the next lecture.